Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Big surprise. It looks like there's a new report that Iron Fist is going to be back in the MCU, but not the Finn Jones Iron Fist from the Marvel Netflix Defender series. It's in the most unexpected Marvel TV series, too. Like, this won't be Iron Fist coming back in Daredevil Born Again, Echo, or one of the other Marvel Netflix Defenders characters like you normally expect the Defenders to come back. So it's like they're trying to bring the concept of Iron Fist back, but in the most roundabout way. So we'll break it all down. It confirms a couple of my theories about how Kevin Feige is just dealing with the Iron Fist character just in general, now that we have Shang-Chi and all of those characters in the MCU. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We have a bunch of Marvel Netflix Defender stuff happening in the Echo episodes next week. I'll be doing some episode videos for that too, but they're dropping all the episodes at once, so it'll be a little bit different than like your normal weekly episode series. Just thankful to get all those characters slowly coming back in different Marvel TV series. We got Daredevil and Kingpin coming back, kicking a ton of ass in the Echo episodes. I literally just did a Daredevil trailer video because Marvel finally made it official that all the Marvel Netflix series are canon to the MCU. One of the big Marvel producers was like, oh yeah, it's all canon to the sacred timeline. Back when Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye were happening, we knew that they were going to bring those characters back because we literally saw them, and I figured that at least part of Daredevil Netflix would be canon to the new stuff. Thankfully, Marvel took it one step further and basically said that all that Netflix stuff is canon to the new MCU stuff they'll be doing with the characters. Still think they're going to make a few minor edits or just omit some details or aspects when it's convenient for them, but mostly it's all meant to be canon. So if Daredevil, Kingpin, Punisher, Jessica Jones all coming back, I guess it wouldn't be surprised that Iron Fist would eventually come back at some point, someplace too. We make all the jokes about Iron Fist. I'm sure there are some people out there that probably did like the series. But here's the thing, this new report about Iron Fist coming back in the MCU is actually during a Black Panther series Marvel is releasing later this year, which is a huge surprise. Like, I would never expect Iron Fist to come back in a place like that, like Black Panther, what? It is written like a canon MCU animated series, and it's way more connected to the main MCU universe than a show like What If, for instance, which is canon to the MCU, but because it's a multiverse show, it's all happening in other universes inside the MCU multiverse. This Black Panther series isn't meant to be a multiverse series, it's more of like a ground level series set in the main MCU, so it's a little clearer about where all this stuff is happening. It's called Eyes of Wakanda, and the Marvel TV people gave a small preview of it a few weeks ago when What If Season 2 premiered, but they didn't post the Black Panther preview online. The series is supposed to visit a bunch of different versions of Black Panther across the MCU timeline going back to ancient Wakanda. They didn't confirm Bashanga, but I'm really hoping that they show the very first Black Panther. They featured him briefly in the first Black Panther movie, like in that prologue. He was also the first king of the United Tribes that formed Wakanda after the Vibranium meteorites, multiple Vibranium meteorites now, because we saw the underwater one during Black Panther Wakanda Forever with Namor's people. He's also the first Black Panther to make a pact with the Panther goddess Bast. So it sounds like based on this report of Iron Fist showing up in this Black Panther series, it'll be one of the previous versions of Iron Fist, not the Daniel Rand Finn Jones Iron Fist, but one of the previous people to wear the mantle and wield the Iron Fist. They didn't say which version it would be, it would just depend on which era, the timeline, this Iron Fist character shows up in. There have been some odd people in the comics who have gained the power of Iron Fist more recently, like even She-Hulk got the power of Iron Fist during the Age of Khonshu Moon Knight crossover event, because they were trying to turn Moon Knight into a much bigger character. It's basically Khonshu versus all the other gods in the Avengers. She was called the Iron Hulk, but that was a very brief thing, so I don't really count that kind of stuff. If you're just talking about the regular main wielders of the Iron Fist in the Iron Fist comics, going back from Danny Rand in present day, it's Orson Randall, who was the Iron Fist during World War II era in the comics. He was the first Westerner to wield the power. Before that, everybody had been from Asia. Now, the comics are kind of sketchy on people to wield it before him, like there are gaps in the timeline. They only list a couple. There was Bei Bang Wen, who held the power during the 1800s. Wu Aoshi, who held the power during the 1500s, she was also the first woman to wield the power of the Iron Fist. Like in present day, we have Colleen Wing also wielding the power of Iron Fist. Before her, the very first recorded Iron Fist was named Bei Ming Tine during the 1200s. He actually fought Genghis Khan using the power of the Iron Fist, just to give you an idea of the time period. So unless Marvel introduces like a totally new version of Iron Fist somewhere in those gaps of a couple hundred years where we don't know who had the actual Iron Fist, if they don't add someone new in those missing time periods, it would be one of those 4 older versions of the character. Personally, I would love to see the original Iron Fist. They didn't really get too much into the ancient history of Iron Fist during the Marvel Netflix series. During Iron Fist Season 2, they had some flashbacks to Kunlun to show you some of Danny Rand's history before he became the Iron Fist. If things had gone well, the Iron Fist series had been received much better and they continued, I think we would have probably seen more ancient Iron Fists during Season 3, Season 4. But the whole premise of this Black Panther series is a special task force inside Wakanda exists to track down and protect all vibranium weapons and artifacts circulating outside Wakanda. So the whole idea is that because of the way their culture evolved, like these united tribes, vibranium is essentially worked into every aspect and every level of their culture, every type of product, even the things that they eat. So over the millennia, all kinds of vibranium or full-on weapons, armor, other artifacts have been either taken or stolen from Wakanda. Presumably, that's how this team inside Wakanda over the ages runs into one of the previous versions of Iron Fist at some point during the timeline. No idea which time period that will be or how they'd feature them, but you have to imagine that scene from the first Black Panther where you see Killmonger finding the vibranium artifact in the museum. Wakanda basically allowed it to be in that museum, but they had a person from Wakanda monitoring it that Killmonger had basically turned to his side. But before he came along, that person from Wakanda was just keeping an eye on the vibranium for them. So the idea is that you have villains all across the ages getting their hands on vibranium tech and weapons, and you have this team running around trying to get rid of them. So a lot of people are expecting this to be an opportunity to show us ancient versions of Black Panther because in present day, Chadwick Boseman has passed away, but that doesn't stop us from seeing ancient versions of Black Panther because there have been different Black Panthers for thousands of years. That's one of the reasons why we saw King T'Chaka Black Panther during the 1980s Avengers during What If. Like, oh, let's just do his father. Let's do the older versions of Black Panther who have since passed away in present day.
Your Highness, it's a pleasure. Your father was a great ally to us during the war.
Yes, I understand you even donated some vibranium to your efforts.
We made a shield out of it.
And if you're going to do that, it just makes sense to do older versions of Iron Fist as well, too, which also steps around the issue of Iron Fist in present day, which Kevin Feige is slowly beginning to deal with. Because the series isn't coming out till much later this year, probably somewhere towards the end of the summer, I'm hoping that they don't change it and remove all these references to Iron Fist in the series, because it would be cool to see Iron Fist show up in a series, even if it is in a roundabout way or like an ancient version of the character. As for Finn Jones, Danny Rand from the Netflix Defenders, Marvel said the Netflix stuff is all canon now, like I said, but that doesn't guarantee we'll see his version anytime soon, or they won't recast him or just skip past him and bring Colleen Wing back first because she has the power of the Iron Fist right now in present day too. Jessica Henwick was talking about this specifically a couple years ago when the Shang-Chi movie came out because a lot of people were like, maybe Marvel will just do Shang-Chi now instead of Iron Fist. But they're meant to be completely different characters, completely different mythologies, like there's a little crossover between them in the comics, but that's been a more recent thing. Shang-Chi never really got involved with the Tournament of Heaven, Kunlun, or the Celestial Cities of Heaven or anything like that. Jessica Henwick said that she'd been up for a major role in that Shang-Chi movie but declined it. I think it would have been for his sister. She would have been leading the 10 Rings at the end of that movie. She said her big reason for turning down the role, because it would have been a solid role, is that it would guarantee she'd never come back as Colleen Wing, which is why I think that it would have been his sister. Because if she would have just been playing a background character, like no one of actual consequence, Kevin Feige probably would have let her come back as Colleen Wing, no problem, because he's done that with a lot of other characters. Gemma Chan is probably one of the more famous ones. Like she was in the Captain Marvel movie as a completely different character, then she came back as a main character, like a much bigger character, during the Eternals movie. But it sounds like Marvel is just kind of slowly rolling all the Marvel Netflix characters back in, and Daredevil Born Again will just be like the next big place after the Echo series. So they're kind of wading their toes in, like you have Daredevil, Kingpin stuff right now, then slowly they'll roll in the other characters, starting with Daredevil Born Again, and everything that happens after that. Like there'll be multiple seasons of Daredevil Born Again. The only other live-action Defenders characters I know are coming back in the next 2 years or so, besides Daredevil and Kingpin, are John Bernthal's Punisher. He's still supposed to be a main character during Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if he's going to cameo during Echo, because they've been using a lot of weird Punisher type of language. I'm not expecting him, because there's only 5 episodes, so like it's almost blink and you'll miss it. Jessica Jones was supposed to come back earlier during Daredevil Born Again 2, but I think they changed that because of some scheduling issues the last couple of years. They decided to go back to ground and basically redo all of Daredevil Born Again, so maybe they worked her in the second half of the series, but eventually they do plan to bring her back. We know a little bit more about her. We already know they're not going to recast Luke Cage, so that role is just waiting for Mike Colter to become available again. He's got a bunch of other projects he's working on now, like other TV shows, so he's booked. That's one of the main reasons why he's not back. Also, on a story level, they just haven't found a reason to bring him back in the actual story. So it's one of those situations where it's when, not if, he's coming back. And I think it's the same situation for Iron Fist in present day, regardless of what version of the character comes back, like it's Finn Jones, or they recast it, or they bring Colleen Wing back as Iron Fist. I've already talked about my early theory about what Marvel should do to bring them back, like bring Iron Fist back, but in the Shang-Chi sequel movie. Let me know in the comments if we see an older version of Iron Fist show up during this Black Panther series, which version of the character do you want it to be? Remember, this is like the ancient versions of Iron Fist. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Like I said, Echo episodes next week. I'll be doing a couple videos for that. X-Men 97 episodes after that. Cannot wait to see X-Men come back. We'll probably get a Deadpool 3 trailer at the Super Bowl too. Everyone click here for that brand new Daredevil trailer video where they announce everything becoming canon again. And here's my new House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.